What's up, Gary? What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's up?
Yeah, what's up? I saw the switcheroo back there. I said, oh gosh, he's got something up his sleeve. What's up, kids?
Are we gonna talk?
Hi.
You are nothing like the old man, huh? That's the intro. That's it. Well, yeah, as you can tell, Joel is always up to some kind of tricks. He put the little ones out there. But go ahead, he's telling you what to say. What's he got?
Yeah. All right, get out of my seat.
Fucking guy. I saw the switcheroo going on back. I was like, what the hell is he doing?
Dude, that just cost me $41.
$41.
I guess there's a book fair or something going on?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes?
Well, all right. Well,
okay, so come here real quick. Okay, so this is Fiona. That's my 9-year-old. Come here, Jojo. Okay, and then most of you know Kerrigan. Listen, Kerrigan's like the mayor. So this is my little guy. This is Jojo. That's Joel Richard. He's 7. And then of course that's Pip.
Hey,
all right, guys. Yes.
Raise your hand.
Listen, he's gonna have me. Listen. Oh my Lanta. All right, get out of here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man. So that's half. That's like maybe a quarter.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's not even a quarter
of what I have in my house. So, Fiona actually wrote a script. I thought that was awesome.
She didn't work very. I was waiting. I thought she had more.
I kept saying, I was like, is he saying anything? So,
she was reading, and I was like, well, maybe she's got something. I thought maybe she had something for Matt. I don't know.
Yeah, man. So that's my kids, dude. They're awesome. So what's up, Facebook, YouTube, everybody out there? That's my kids. They're great. Yeah, so, dude, we are a few likes away from hitting 5,000 followers. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for hitting that like button and subscribing and sharing and all kinds of cool stuff. And dude, it's very humbling. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Cool.
It really is. Yeah.
It is. And people still watch and listen. That's the best part.
So what's up, Mike? Papa John, how you been, man? John Lombardo, he's on there. What's up, guys? There's my man, Tony Gearhead, dude, been breaking his butt like dude all week. Listen, he moved the seat down 5-6 inches. Dude, I've never been this low in a race car before. Move the brake pedal so that you know what I mean. I sat in Michael Garagusso's iRacing setup, which is Tony's son. Yeah. Dude, how realistic is that?
Told you, man.
Wow, man, dude, I learned.
He has the same setup I had.
Yeah.
Wicked, man.
Dude, I couldn't believe the realism of this. So thank you, Michael, for keeping your father and I grounded because we were losing our minds last week, 2 weeks ago. Losing our minds, man.
It'll cost you about as much as to buy a
He
race
said 10
car.
grand. He said, listen, you want something like this, 10 grand. I was like, what? What's up, Skip?
I had almost 5 in mine. I had about 5 grand invested in my simulator. Yeah, man. So ain't no shit.
So, with that being said, thank you everybody who's been subscribing and watching and all that stuff. Gary, you gave me some really cool news today. And listen, man, we are booked right through to July.
End of July.
So the end of July, we have guests booked on our show. And we're not talking just local guys.
No,
we're talking from out west, down south. It's 1,300 in mine. Yeah, Danny, but this thing is awesome. Like I want one. Like I came home and told the wife, listen, I want an iRacing thing. And she went, how much is that? And I was like 10 grand.
Yeah.
And she was like, she's like, don't you have like 4 race cars? I was like, yeah,
it's nuts. It is.
But it's really cool, dude. What an awesome tool. We're actually going to try some stuff that we tried on the simulator. We're actually going to try in the car. I mean, it was that realistic. Yeah.
No, it is, man.
But you'll never have to put a clip on it. Dan, you're absolutely right. Listen, there was nothing better than racing a late model at Bristol. When they tell you outside, they actually mean that. And I moved up and I got flipped. And I just hit reset, and I was like, "Dude, this is."
Hit that escape button. Don't waste a dime, man.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
But thank you all so much for watching and stuff, man. This is Gary. This is turning out to be more than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah, no, I told you, people calling and messaging. Next week's show is going to be, I don't know. I mean, it's probably more professional people than what we're used to.
Yeah,
but,
so we don't want to let the cat out of the bag, man. We'll promote the crap out of it during the week. But dude, I am absolutely 100% without a doubt in my mind excited for next week. Yes, Jimmy, I will be there. Yes, Bethel Motor Speedway, provided the R word does not come in. So who knows? But yeah, I'll be there a little bit later though. We're going to be a little bit late. Well, not unfortunately, but I have to work Saturday. So, but yeah, what a great show we have even tonight. So we talked about them last week, and we actually have we're going to have a couple of guests on here tonight. But the first part of the show is going to be I like to call him a friend of mine, man. He's been racing a long time, and he got lucky enough to pick up a win last week at Lebanon Valley Speedway, and that was no easy task, and he did it in a Sportsman. So I used to call him the fourth Hanson brother, and I used to say how he put the tinfoil on before every race. I don't remember why I started saying that, but that's an homage to Slapshot. Anybody ever seen that movie? That's a great movie. You ever see Slapshot, Gary?
No, I did not.
Oh, really? Oh, dude.
No.
It's about a minor league hockey team, and they have the Hanson brothers, and they're just three big giant goons, and all they do is just beat the hell out of everybody. I want to say it's from like the late 70s.
Oh, okay.
I know it was on YouTube for a little while. Dude, it is absolutely a hilarious movie. You got to watch it. It's awesome. Yeah. So without further ado, I believe that I used to call him the gentleman, also the fourth Hanson brother, fresh off a feature win from Lebanon Valley Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Burke.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, man? So I was just I'm sure you heard us, right? So how did that come about? How did I start? Didn't you have like a Charlestown Chiefs shirt on or something?
I actually remember that. Yeah. It was my first year there. We unloaded the car. No one knew who the hell we were. Yeah. And we unloaded the car, and I went walking by, and you were over there, I think, actually with Tony Giraguso, and we were walking by, and you started going, "Hey, who's the Hanson brother?" Because I was wearing a Charlestown Chiefs t-shirt. That's where that started.
Yeah, dude. I think we've been let's say friends, man. It's or let's say acquaintances. Then we don't have to buy each other Christmas gifts. But dude, I was sold right after that. I was like, dude, that guy's badass. I was like, I hope we don't crash into each other. But and then we raced together for a few years, and then I started racing and announcing, and I think I just kind of brought it over. I was like, it's the fourth Hanson brother. Nobody understood what I meant. And the people who did, dude, you people were badass. The rest of you just stupid.
Yeah, that was a couple of years after. One of the funny things I remember you saying about when you were an announcer was, as you remember, maybe maintenance wasn't our big thing, and we'd show up and the car still be dirty. And we were winning some race. It was like 500 to win, and you go, and maybe next week we can afford to wash it.
Listen, I know all too well because I believe I bought one of your cars, man, and I think I ran it a couple times, and then I don't know. I was in that phase where I wanted to race, but I wanted to announce, and I don't know. I wasn't. I wound up selling it to one of the Tarantinos, and I don't know where it went, but anyway, yeah, dude, I should have kept the car, but anyway. So
that was an old Jimmy Whalen car, actually.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Listen. So every car that I ever bought, if it was already raced, I kind of take them apart, and then I showed. I don't know if you remember this, Matt, but I showed you pictures, or I know I took pictures, but the seat was extremely scary. So they tack welded 1/8-inch 18 gauge steel for the floor. Then they welded a piece of angle iron on that. But when they tacked it in 4 spots, and then they bolted the seat to it, and then they took silicone and put it around the rest of the edge and made it look like it was weld. So I remember, I want to say I told you about it. I was like, dude, if you ever flipped over in that, you would have died.
You did,
and you went, but actually, the car was fast.
It was fast, and the one we had before that was actually an old Bobby Shade car, and that one we brought over to Emerson Cargan's once because we had just started, and he's like, let me take a look at it, and he put it on the rack, and he said, not only should they give you your money back, these people should go to jail.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Bobby Shade, man. Yeah, dude, I grew up with Bobby. Bobby used to date my sister way back.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think somebody ran into him not too long ago, but he's still Bobby Shade, you know. So how did you get involved with racing? Like, what was it? Were you a fan or somebody from the family? How did you guys get involved?
Kind of a combination. So when you mentioned my mother last week, which we joked that you were mentioning my mother.
And your mom's name is?
My mom's name is Pam. And
okay, so I won't remember Pam.
Somebody texted me, Joel Mearns is on the internet talking about your mother, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna have to fight now. So I looked it up, and it was very complimentary. So thank you very much for the kind words about my family. But her, plus, although I will say it cost me some money. I got a text on Tuesday from her that she needed to use the credit card to get a haircut because she had to look nice at the track. So, but her dad raced back in the 40s and 50s. Okay. And he raced at what was Victory Speedway and up at Pine Bowl and actually in Peekskill on the cinder track and all that. So she grew up around it. So then when I got older and I was old enough to go, she used to actually take me because my dad had no interest. My dad used to say, if you can't bet on it, it's stupid. I'm not going. So,
but you can.
Well, now you can, yeah. But anyway, so she used to take me as a kid and I became a fan. And then as I got older, my brother-in-law, PJ, and we were at a race and I said, we could do that. And we decided just to build one just for fun. And we went and bought that car, put it together and started racing it. And it just went from there. PJ's
the Irish guy.
The Irish guy, yeah.
Okay, yeah. For the life of me, I couldn't remember what his name is. Is he still helping you?
Yeah.
And so I asked Dan Martin that, and he goes, "I don't know who his crew is. I just know he has a small one." I was like, "Yeah, dude, So it's got to be, yeah.
Right now, it's just me and PJ.
But it always has been, though, right?
Yeah. Well, we'd have Ron or Spanky or people would come and go. Jimmy Hajkowski helped us for a little while.
Okay.
There's some other guys at the Valley, Wayne and John and stuff. They were kind of in the area that show up at the track, but in the shop right now, it's just me and PJ. And it started that way with us welding on the car in a driveway with no garage. And here we are, 12, 14 years later, still doing this ridiculousness.
So do you actually have a garage now, or do you still have like the pole barn kind of like EPW kind of spot?
We used to have that storage area that I think you went and got the other car from. But we rent an old garage. It's the end of this road, and it's around, like you can't really see it's around the corner. It's a little dilapidated, but we rent this old garage because with the Sportsman, if you're not able to consistently scale it and do all the geometry on it, you're not going to be very good. And with the street stock, we got away with. I mean, there were weeks we never took it off the trailer.
Right.
But with the Sportsman, you're not going to do that and be fast. So we have a little shop. It's certainly not anything special, and it floods all the time, but it's somewhere for us to kind of go.
Right. Listen, do you have light?
We do.
Do you have heat?
We do not.
That sucks.
It does.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Even like I call them salamanders, even a salamander, man, would work. But so you started off in, well, I guess back then in Orange County had pure stocks, right? He was amateur and veteran, right? So you started off there. I know you spent a couple seasons there in that division. What made you decide to move to Sportsman?
Well, we ran the street stock or pure stocks into street stocks for about 4 years. And, we were lucky enough to win the amateur pure stock championship in our second season. And we ended up racking up around 12 wins in the first 4 years or so. And one of the guys who helps us, Spanky, who I mentioned earlier, he used to work or own a car over at Danbury in a Sportsman class. And he's like, we should do that. And we all kind of chipped some money in together and bought Shortway's old Sportsman and peeled the 54 off it and put a 12 on the side and went and raced at the time what was the rookie Sportsman class there at Orange County. Okay.
But I remember you left for a little bit and then you came back. You were driving for somebody for a little while, correct?
Yeah, well, sort of. Dan Botke I lived in Pauling at the time, and he had Pauling Collision, and he asked me if I would drive the car that he built, and I said, sure. Unfortunately, he had gotten hurt, so it got behind schedule. So we raced our own car, the one that you bought, until we detonated it. And then I got out of that, and I raced Emerson's car a couple of races, and I won in that.
Yeah, it actually won with that. Yep.
Yeah, and then I won. It's funny, the old car, we won the last week. The next week we brought it back and it detonated. Then I got in Emerson's car and we won the following week in Emerson's car. And then I got in Botke's car and we won a heat in it. And I think we finished second or third along the way. So it was a fun season, but we were bouncing all around. So at that point, we were going to have to replace the street stock anyway, one way or the other. So that's when we did that shift to the Sportsman because we figured we'd give it a shot.
Now, is that still the same car that you have now, or do you have something like a little more updated? I mean, that was a while ago, right? That's got to be almost 10 years ago now, right? That you did that?
2014. Yeah, we ran. I was telling Gary earlier, we ran that car. It was an 03 Bicknell.
Okay.
We ran that all the way through 2019, and then at the end of 2019, we got a DKM chassis. I picked it up with like a week to go in the season, so I think I ran it once that year. Mm-hmm. And then in 2020, obviously the pandemic hit, so there really wasn't much going on. And then last year was the first full year racing that car, and now this year we've got a couple races on it as well. So it's a 19, but it has maybe 12 or 14 races on it.
Yeah, Buddy built one of my cars and has done a lot for me over the years. Great guy. Yeah, Jay Smalley piping in there. Yeah, those guys, they were building chassis there for a little while, and dude, that was a beautiful car. I want to say it was a Monte Carlo, but man, that thing looked like a Grand National car.
The Baki car. Yeah, that was actually a Cutlass, believe it or not.
Yeah. And I want to say I think it got destroyed. I forget who they sold it to, but I think he's the guy that took Vigiletti's roof off one night.
Yeah, Tim Russell, I think his name.
Yeah, there you go.
Passed away.
Did he really? Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
But, I was actually at the race that night, and I was worried.
That was scary. Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty big.
Well, we all knew Mike was good because he drove in the pits. He drove into the pits, and dude, it sheared the top of the cage right off. I mean, it was like, oh wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he had passed away, man. Sorry to hear about that. He seemed like a pretty decent dude.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Wow. So when did you decide? I mean, because you primarily ran Orange County, and I know you went to go to the Valley once with the pure stock, and they kind of hassled you a little bit, right?
Yeah, we took the street stock up there. Like
this is useless knowledge that I know this stuff, and I don't know why. It really is. Like I've had conversations with people, and they're like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "Well, we talked about it back in 2012, and
you don't. Anyway, forget, it seemed like you don't forget nothing.
I can't remember my kids' names, but I can remember dumb shit like that.
It's funny. Now that you bring it up, I remember, but I had forgotten about it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was around that time. It was Orange County was closed because it was during the kind of the couple of the down years, and the electrical box blew up and set the grandstand on fire and all that.
Yeah.
So we were closed for a couple of weeks. So we towed up to the Valley, and when we got there, they really gave us the runaround with like, well, you got to have this kind of tire, and then they said, well, the cage can't be this way. It just didn't work out. So we ultimately got towed all the way there. Unloaded the car. They wouldn't let us race, so we loaded it back up and left. So it wasn't a great experience, but I always wanted to try the Valley. And in the street stock, I think it would have been fun, especially going there every week now and watching those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys haul the mail in those cars. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Back then there was what they had. I mean,
60, 50,
you know what I mean?
Cars,
yeah, like they were having
divisions.
Three features and stuff like that. That was impressive that they were able to keep that going for as long.
Yeah, but they were only doing 8 laps, but now I think that they're up to 15 laps and they're getting heat races.
Yeah, heat races now.
But they're allowing, I think, pro stock chassis in with the regular stock chassis, but they got to be on a DOT tire. It's really? A little weird. They're almost like Northeast factory stocks, 5 mile point, paint can, like offset shocks. It's weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, like, I still have a pro stock chassis that I wouldn't mind trying to go to the Valley with. I wouldn't take my regular Monte Carlo. I'd probably get my ass stomped in that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing now. I mean, the last couple of years it was all like stock stuff, but now you definitely see that mix. And there's a couple of cars that I thought were pro stocks, and then all of a sudden I see it in the pure stock race or the street stock race, and then it's confusing, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So when did you? Now, what is there any other tracks that you've raced at besides Orange County and the Valley?
No, just Orange County and the Valley. I mean, for me, the big thing is, and the rest of my history, so you probably know this too. But I travel a lot for work.
For work. See, I knew that.
So for me, I can only really race on Saturdays.
Matt, I was wondering if maybe, sometimes if you weren't busy, if you'd like to go on a date or something. I mean,
I can firmly say no.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What made you guys decide to go and I mean, I know you wanted to try the Valley with the street stop. What made you decide to go to Lebanon Valley full-time with the Sportsman? Was it because of is it closer for you, or is it just you just want to try something different?
It was a combination. It's definitely further away. It's a couple hour tow for us. because we keep the car over in East Fishkill and Hopewell Junction there.
Yeah.
So it was way further away. But the big thing was a couple things. One, I did want to try it because I like the speed aspect of it, right? And with those long straightaways, it just looked like a lot of fun. And secondarily, we had raced the rookie sportsman class, and we were winning. And, we weren't really finishing outside the top 5, and it was time to move up. But at the time, Orange County ran the sportsman every single week. And with my brother-in-law being a contractor and me traveling a lot for work, it was just too much to keep up with every week. And if you're going to skip races, it's really hard to be competitive. Yeah. And the Valley at the time would run 10 or 12 races a year. So the schedule made more sense. So we decided to make the shift up there. And for a couple of years, we'd bounce back and forth between the two tracks, but we've been primarily at the Valley now for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So you were winning races in the rookie sportsman in Orange County?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that may have been the transition when I started to leave Orange County and go other places. Yeah. And so is this your first win? And this was now, I don't understand the sportsman division at the Valley. Do they have a rookie and an open, or is it all just open sportsman? Like what's their?
This was our first sportsman win at the Valley. They have 2 classes now this year. Prior, it used to all be lumped together. I see a lot of this car count stuff they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like on but now they have what they call a limited class, and the limited class is basically the equivalent of the rookie class that Orange County had.
Okay.
And like last week, there was 19 regular sportsmen. I think there was 9 of the limited guys, so 9 or 10. So they're getting a reasonable amount, but it's kind of a sister division, I think, to Albany-Saratoga, because Albany-Saratoga runs that same split.
Right.
So it's kind of a nice thing, especially for the guys just getting started. It really allows them to be competitive a lot earlier than they would have been, because the field's pretty stout in the standard class.
What's now, do you guys run for points in that division, or is it like you win so many and then you got to move up, or like what are the rules as far as that goes?
Well, I don't run the limited class. I run the full class.
Okay.
But in the limited class, to my knowledge, I don't know if they have points. We run for points in the regular sportsman. In the limited, I think if you win 2 races or 3 races, you have to move up. There's some rule like that. Last year, I don't even remember, we finished 11th or 12th in points, something like that. And I think the top 12 didn't even qualify for the limited. But to be honest, we've been doing it long enough that I felt comfortable in the full sportsman class. Right. So we weren't going to do it anyway.
Awesome. So any aspirations as far as like moving up to maybe small block or trying small block, or maybe even big blocks, or you're pretty content with where you're at right now?
I'm content with where we are, but I'd love to try a small block just once. I mean, it just looks like a lot of fun. And obviously a big block, that's just unrealistic, especially at the Valley. I mean, if you don't have a legit big block, you're going to just be driving around. The small blocks, I mean, there's a lot of fast guys in that class as well, between Pichetti and Lombardo and, all those guys. So even there, it's not like it's a gimme, but I would love to be able to try the small block. It just is going to boil down to, do I get too old before I can afford it?
Yeah.
Biggest thing. That's like we were talking off air, from street stock to sportsman, the price doubles and triples, and
that's crazy.
Keep going. It's
just but the initial cost is almost the same as a street stock. Am I wrong?
The initial cost it wasn't so bad. Obviously now everything's going up in price, but ultimately, as time goes on, you have you got to keep up with the Joneses with the shocks and the spring packages and the geometry and all that stuff in the back of the car. So there's a lot more involved in terms of the maintenance side. I mean, although these days the street stocks are obviously becoming more advanced, like every other racing thing, every year that goes by, things get faster and lighter. It's just how.
Listen, the days of leaving it on the trailer, they're over.
They are over. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But my theory is they should not be similarly cost the same. I just can't. In my mind, I can't fathom that. I can't see a street stock costing $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 to me.
So Matt, if you had nothing and you wanted to go sportsman racing, what would it cost you?
Well, obviously at that point you'd have to, if you're going to go all new, it probably costs you $30,000.
New, but I'm saying,
but
you starting out, and you want to get.
Say you're getting ready. You bought the short waist car. You want to go and give it a shot. What are you talking?
I think you're probably talking $10,000-$12,000. Okay. It cost us whatever number of years ago, $6,500.
Yep.
Right, because when I started, I bought my first Sportsman from Gary LeBas. I paid $8,500 for it. That's with an open motor,
race ready.
race ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was back then. So I mean, you're talking if you wanted a good used one, you could probably get it 10, 11.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is that's what you're going to spend for a street stock.
But you shouldn't, though.
Same price.
You should not, though.
I understand. Listen,
You should not spend that much on a street stock. I'm sorry.
I spent $300 on my first race car ever, and I bought that at it was $150 for the car. I bought it at the junkyard, Brim's junkyard, and then I spent another $100 for a cage, and I went racing. And it was $300. I went racing, and now not anymore, dude. I've spent pretty close to. We just redid the car. We redid everything. I'm talking every nut bolt on the car. I'm looking to see if my wife's around. Pretty close, pretty close to $20,000.
Yeah,
pretty close to
I believe that.
Yeah,
that's a challenge.
But it's not that I've gone out and I've spent $10,000 on an engine. That's by no means is that.
Yeah.
I think I have maybe $3,000 in a motor. It's just the cost of everything has gone up. So now I think the point I'm trying to make is I understand why the full fender class is starting to go away, because if you're going to spend that money, why not spend it on a Sportsman? Right. And now you're part of the the premier class.
You're in a different league with different people. Yeah.
And then almost any night of the week, you can go and race for $5,000.
That's the difference. Yeah.
Whereas
you're paying $10,000-$12,000 for a street stock, and you're getting $100, $200 in a handshake.
So here's Kyle, and we're gonna have Kyle on here in a little bit, but Kyle had a street stock up for sale, and he wanted $9,000 for it, and I'm telling you, it's not out of the ballpark.
Oh, I'm not saying it's out of the realm. I'm not saying that, but to me, I just don't see that it should be that. It should be an affordable class. That's where you're starting. That's what it was meant to be.
Yeah, it's a tough nut for an entry level, but I will say I agree about the Sportsman thing, because the nice thing about the Sportsman is, other than tires and some minor stuff, you can race that car anywhere.
Anywhere.
We joked about going to the Valley with the Orange County street stock. It didn't pass their tag. I think there was something about the trunk had to be tinned in and stuff. So the rules are so different in the street stock class that it's really hard to go track to track. Whereas with the Sportsman, if you spend the same money, you have a lot more flexibility.
So this is what Jay Smalley and myself tried to do this past year, was get everybody on the same page. Then you know what I mean, and then it's going to allow guys to move around a little bit. We have 3 tracks that are within an hour of each other, but then you go upstate and it's a pro stock. It's a pro stock on DOT tires. So is that the future of the division? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think what the Valley has done is tried to save the division.
I get that, yeah.
But the guys who've been there, like Scott Morris and the guys who've been there for a while, man, it's either update your stuff or you're going to get run over. Or
look
at a Sportsman.
Yeah, but look at the upstate pro stocks. They're like late models now.
Yeah.
But I'll give a shout out to those guys, and I don't know Scott personally. He kind of parks sort of near us, so I see him there. But
he's arrogant.
In the top 3 last week, I'm pretty sure the guy who won was in a Monte Carlo, and I think Scott came in like 3rd or 4th. So those guys are still making noise despite the pro stock guys being there.
Yeah, and here's my thing, right? I think that they're all a bunch of crazy son of bitches. Dude, they've got 4412s. Are they allowed headers?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm not sure either. But they've got, crate motors, 4412s, but they're on a 7-inch tire with only a 3-inch backspace. Dude, they're hammering. They're hammering. And I'm like, I want to go try that.
Wow.
I'll be honest, I'm in a Sportsman and those guys look nuts to me. That's just how it is.
Yeah. So years ago, I was told, if you have that much in your street stock, why don't you buy a Sportsman? And I waited for somebody to answer that. And here's my answer. If you wreck that car, you need to put a clip in that car. Do you have to take it to somebody, or are you doing it yourself?
We have to take it to somebody, Joel.
Okay.
If we put new tires on it, we have to take it to somebody.
Okay.
That's a whole different conversation.
If it's the same thing with my car, I can fix my car in my driveway by myself. I don't have to take it to anybody. And that's why I've stayed in the division as long as I have.
Yeah.
All kidding aside, that is a big difference. I mean, years ago, there was this guy in Orange County. You probably don't remember him. He was not very well known. His name was Kenny Reed. And he ran into me in hot laps. And let me reiterate that. He ran into me in hot laps. But anyway, and he ripped the whole rear end off our car. And so we literally went home. We sawzalled a rear off of an old Camaro, slid it onto the new one, self-tappered it on the back. Body was done, ready to roll. Obviously, that's not something.
So I got to tell this story because I totally forgot about this.
Wow.
So just so you know, Kenny Reed is now the race director in Orange County.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
I better not go back after this story then.
So,
yep.
Kenny had driven my car in 2009. I didn't race that year. So he drove my car and he ran a 100-lap enduro and he finished second. He did very well. And I went down to victory lane and I was happy for him. And I looked in and I saw the temperature gauge, man, was like 260. I was like, dude, how long has it been at 260? He goes, for like 60 laps. I was like, dude, you're done. I was like, this motor is done. So anyway, the following year he got his own car and he painted the car and it looked pretty close to mine. It was orange and blue. So anyway, we're in hot laps. And I don't know what happened, but all I know is Kenny like pummeled poor Matt, just pummeled him in hot laps, just drove through him.
Wow.
So Kenny like gets off the track and Matt right away, I guess, thought that it was me and I'm driving through the pits. And then I kind of realized what had happened because obviously you drive around, you're like, oh my God. And he's standing there and he's like this and I could hear him yelling. I was like, it wasn't me. I did not do And by the time I got back to the pit area, the front fenders were gone on Kenny's car. The hood was gone. The bumper was gone. And I looked at Kenny and was like, listen, man, you got to go fix that. I was like, Matt thinks it's me. And Kenny goes, I'm not going to fix that. He came down on me. And I was like, oh my God. But yeah, so yeah. He's the race director now.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah. What are you going to do, man?
Those are the good stories. I actually remember the situation. The guy, a yellow came out, so I lifted, and I don't know if Kenny missed the yellow, didn't hear it, didn't see it, but just drove right. It was in turn 3, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. Dude, he hit Matt's car, and Matt's car just exploded, and so did Kenny's. But Kenny actually wound up running the feature after that. Poor Matt
did, too, and I'll never forget, we went, and the Cargans were parked next to us, and Junior had the flatbed.
Yeah.
So we literally pulled the rear clip out with the winch on it.
Yeah.
And we duct taped the fuel cell in so it would stay.
Oh my God.
And Emerson Sr. made me promise that I would just take the green and pull off. I took the green and it was going pretty good. So I kind of just stayed with it. So we went around, we ended up finishing 3rd and I pull into tech and all I remember is Emerson Sr. looking at me, just goes like this. You know, with that look on his face, he just goes like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. It went okay. It was fine. In the corner, I could hear the fuel cell going ka-clunk, ka-clunk.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, man.
That's dicey.
Dude, those were good times though, man. We were getting, 20, 30 cars then. They had 2 divisions. They had amateur and veteran. And I can remember the night, man, that Willie and I were going for the championship. And I remember you said to me, listen, if you show me a nose, I'll move over. And dude, I never forgot that, man. I appreciated that. And, that was a good night. Poor Willie, man, he just, Stan Fashinsky got him. And if he had finished where he was supposed to, Willie and I would have tied for the championship. But he got into Stan and around they went, and I won the championship by this much, by that much. Yeah.
Damn.
But, so I mean, moving forward, did you ever think that you would be at the level that you're at as far as racing goes, or did you just think that you were just going to be that guy who tried it and and then just kind of moved on?
Yeah, I mean that was kind of always I'm kind of a laid back guy, but I'm hyper competitive, like in the moment.
Yeah.
And I just figured I would do it. I just wanted to prove kind of to myself that I could.
Right.
Because let's be honest, racing is this alpha thing, right?
Absolutely.
You got more than that guy. And, growing up, I played football and baseball and hockey and all stuff you can't really do as an adult, especially as I got older and fatter. It wasn't a thing. So I tried racing and I kind of never really had a goal. I just wanted to do it. And we were lucky enough to win some races and the championship and stuff. And we kept kind of moving up. We used to joke that we just want to move up to where we don't belong. And we just kept doing that. And we ended up where we are now. And, who knows what tomorrow brings, but it's fun. And for us, it's been kind of a family thing. You talk about my mother and my aunt, my brother-in-law's into it. Like it's really kind of a cool thing.
Listen, I remember your mom being up in the stands, and I'm not sure if she ever came over and talked to me, but I know I kind of feel like maybe some nights she wasn't too happy with me. But I think you and I always kind of ran, very, very, like, we respected each other. Yeah. I don't think we ever got into each other or anything like that. Yeah, but but to win races in Orange County, and dude, now you're doing it at Lebanon Valley. I would love to see what you could do at one of the shorter tracks, because of your dude. You have such the gentleman Matt Burke. It's what I used to, because you have that very almost like a police officer kind of attitude. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, listen, I know you got a gun, but we're gonna work through this, and you know what I mean. So,
yeah, I mean, I always kind of took that as a sign of respect, right? I didn't take the gentleman as like I was some kind of pushover, because I'm not. No. But on the flip side, I'm going to run you clean. I'm going to run you as hard as I can, but I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to push you. Yeah. I mean, even the other night when we went at the Valley at the end, Knipe and I were really kind of door to door, and he said to me, I thought about putting the rub rail on you, but you don't run me that way, so I'm not going to run you that way. And
it's hard to race somebody like that who just doesn't do that, And there was a couple of nights, man, when I was like, dude, I can't get by Matt, and I know if I just lay into him, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Unless provoked, that's a different situation.
Well, listen, because there was one time where you were, and so you spun him around off of 2. I don't remember his name. He didn't last very long. He was driving Larry Sack's car. Yeah. And then you did it again. And then I remember at the end of the night, I was like, man, what was that all about? And you told me, listen, I wanted him to know that I control your destiny. Yeah. That you need to race me as clean as possible, because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. And I remember you spun him around same time. Like they took the green, he spun the guy out. They took the green again. He did it again. I couldn't stop laughing. I was on the mic. I shut the mic off. I was laughing. I was like, oh.
I remember that, because first of all, I did that, and then we won the race, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And secondly, I told that kid before it started, I'm going to spin you twice because I don't want you to think it was an accident.
Yeah.
And I told Tommy Zaban, keep the camera on me. And I mean, we just talked about it. I don't really race that way, but I wanted him to know that it's easy to race that way.
Yeah.
It's harder to drive around somebody, get your momentum up, do it the right way. If I want to drive through you, that's not a big deal. I just got to catch it.
Yeah.
And I did it twice and won the race, and it was pretty fun. And the next week I got called down, and your dad was actually there. He gave me the talking to.
Did he stand on a picnic table so it made it look like he was bigger?
Yeah.
Because he used to do that to me. He'd stand on a picnic table.
Yep.
And I would just
actually, what he did is he stood on the second rung of the ladder that won
the
tower.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, he kind of gave me a talking to, and then gave me kind of a wink and a smile. So I knew we were good.
Yeah. He would annoy the hell out of me with that. He caught somebody one night with a Brzezinski intake, and I felt that he should have been DQ'd because I finished second.
Yeah.
And my father said, no, that's not my style. Listen, he needs to, I gave him a week to change it. And I was like, but he's been racing long enough to know that, dude, that's illegal and you can't do that. And that's what used to annoy me. But my dad, that's how he was. That's how he is. He's still around. But
I can confirm that, because in 2009, it was our first race of the season. The first year with that whaling car, and we came through the pack. We started 12th, and I got up to second, and I lost to the guy who won. I won't say his name.
Yeah.
And he had an aluminum water pump.
Yeah.
And your father came over to me. I'll never forget him. He put his arm around me and he said, I know his water pump's aluminum and illegal. I told him to change it for next week. But I promise you, if there's something minor that's not an obvious infraction, I'll give you the same respect. And I said, I can't ask for anything more. And I thank him I thank you, Mr. Mearns. And he chastised me for calling him Mr. Mearns, and we moved on our way.
Mr. Mearns is my father. Listen, I need to shave my beard because I get that a lot. Mr. Mearns, listen, Mr. Mearns is my father, But I think that's something that Emerson has really, started to do now, is started to build that respect and build that class again. I think that's something that was missing there for a while. My dad was there. He was kind of the voice for that division, and, they had 20, 30 cars, 40 cars, and then that went away for a while. And then I think Emerson kind of moved into that position, and good for them, man. But I kind of got like where you were. Listen, it's time for me to go do something, go somewhere different. And, that's why we are where we are. So I'm at the point now where, that I like to ask a lot of our guests on here. If there was any race that you could win in your career, other than the Daytona 500, what would that race be?
Well, it's not possible. Well, not that the Daytona 500 would be possible, but I heard you talking last week, and I actually was sitting in the stands when you were at the mile. If I ever could have won anything at the mile, that's what I would have chosen.
Yeah. That was always my answer too. Jim Lijah, I think I'm saying his name wrong, but he used to do I think it was like Northeast videos or something. He had asked me that question, and that's where it came from. I started asking people that, and he had asked me that question once, and I said, it wouldn't be Daytona. I said I would want to win the pro stock race at the mile. Yeah, anything at the mile. I would have taken a heat race win at the mile. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
There was just something about that place. You mentioned it the other day. There was like the smell in the air, the sound, and would echo off those grandstands. Oh my! It was just plain awesome.
I could just remember going down the front stretch and my foot's to the floor, and I just remember looking up in the grandstands just like this, just smiling and tears rolling down my face. Like I couldn't believe that I was, dude, just absolutely awesome. So, Matt, is there? Oh yeah. Listen, I didn't care that we had brought a water gun to a bazooka fight, dude. I didn't care shit. I was just happy to be there.
Just to be there.
I'm sure you got some sponsors, man. The car looks absolutely awesome. Well, your stuff always kind of look good, but it's looking really good now. It's good to see you found a water hose. You guys got any sponsors you want to talk about?
Yeah, for me, the big one is PJ Lloyd Construction. He's my brother-in-law. He's the crew chief, but it's really he and I's, kind of just passion that we do this. We got Neshuat Medical, who gives us money every year, and his name's on the side of the car. We've got Spanky Engineering, which is not really a company, but it's my buddy Spanky, and you'll appreciate this story. Years ago, Spank used to own an asphalt modified, and back then there was a modified race at Daytona, and it was before the internet and everything else, and they would give away free giveaways. So Fran would give a case of oil filters, and Champion would give a case of spark plugs, and they would go down there, enter a car that was never coming, and every day pick up the free giveaways. And they said it was the Spanky Engineering car from Ludlow Falls, Ohio. So every year that we put our car, we put Spanky Engineering on the car, Ludlow Falls, Ohio, even though it's not really a thing. So if you look at the scoop of our car, it says Spanky Engineering.
Oh, shit.
But
dude, that is the ultimate, listen to the racing crew that he has. Dude, he's the fourth Hanson brother. He's got Spanky Engineering. You know what I mean? Dude, this is the typical 1965 racing team. Do you have a guy who drinks? He shows, I'm going to help you, but just drinks?
Yeah, well, I don't want to bring it up, but PJ is Irish.
That's what I was getting at, man.
But so overall, we're good. And, and the other ones I just want to thank are, I was chatting with Gary before we came on. DKM has been really great. Everyone always is. Years ago, Jerry Higby was probably the nicest guy in the world. He didn't even have a Hig Fab, and he would show us how to scale the thing. So, there's always been good people. But for us right now, DKM is really, really helpful. Dave and Eric up there are always giving us help. Mike Petrucci, who I guess at times is some controversial figure for some reason. I don't know why. He's an awesome, awesome guy. And he's really helped us a lot with just simple things like what jets to put in the carburetor and what oil to run and which plugs you should run and stuff like that. And really, those are the people that really help us get there. The rest is kind of me and PJ just doing it ourselves and hoping for the best.
Now, when you first started, what kind of chassis were you on?
We were in a Bicknell. So we won a couple of Sportsman races in an 03 Bicknell.
So which do you like better, the Bicknell or the DKM?
Well, honestly, I like the DKM better because the 03 Bicknell, by the time we got it, was a little bit worn out. Right. So we always had trouble with it dumping over on itself because there was, you always want to get a certain amount of twist, but it was so already twisted and bent. It was a challenge to get it balanced. Yeah. The DKM is really nice like that. Plus, the reason why I want the DKM is, those guys were engineers, and, a couple of them left GE to build race cars and follow their passion. And these things are put together so well, and you make changes and it does what it's supposed to do. And for guys like us that aren't really race car guys necessarily, I'm a sales guy, he's a carpenter, having basic things. If I change this, it's going to do that, makes life so much easier. And those cars are so predictable in that way. And I also told Gary, we had wrecked it. The first week of the season, we got wrecked. We didn't even go a lap, and we got totally destroyed.
Oh,
So I spent the week putting the thing back together. I took Friday off, went and got parts, put them in. On my way out, I asked Eric about a condition of the car. He said, change this and change that. We did it. We went out the next night and we won.
yeah. Are you on coils?
Coils, yeah, coils and left side panhard now.
Are a lot of the guys at the Valley, they all running coils now?
I think the bulk of them are running coils. To be honest with you, in my opinion, that's really the setup right now. I think across the board, but definitely at the Valley.
It's crazy. Years ago, man, the Camaros were the car to beat, and I wish I bought a Monte Carlo 10 years ago. The coils are just that much better.
Well, I think as the springs have evolved, it's been easier to dial in the coil part, right? So I think the evolution of the springs made that possible. And it's funny you say that. I was talking the other day because we won on bars and now we've won on coils, and it's almost like winning on leaf springs and then winning on coils in the street stock. A little different, but kind of same premise. Yeah. When you get those coils dialed in, that thing just digs. It's awesome.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's interesting to hear like people like Brett Hearn that when he talks about being on coils, how rough it is. Like, the car bounces so hard, you know what I mean? Like, he's told us before, like he didn't really, the coils was a tough transition because it's so bouncing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. On a rough track, I still think the bars are the setup, but on a smooth track,
definitely
are the way to go. But there definitely is an adjustment, and you have to get used to it because when you come out of the corner and the car unloads, you do get this kind of wobble as you go. Yeah. And anybody who's seen us race, our setup is kind of like the old Craig Mitchell setup in Orange County. Get the left front way off the ground, and we're going through the corner. So that thing, when that unloads, I definitely feel it in the cockpit.
So
there ain't nothing like a Craig Mitchell setup at seeing him come off the corners. I
don't know how he sees.
It's unbelievable. He lifts that front right up, man.
I think he's got one of those like those mirrors, they look underneath the cars to see if there's drugs. Like he holds it up here and he just does this.
Because there's some
Chuck McKee used to run like that too, man. You'd see those guys down the straightaways like this. It was awesome.
It's crazy. The flex that thing ain't no good at the end of the year, I don't think. There's so much damn flex going on.
Listen, I would know. Listen, I tried a Sportsman car once. It didn't go so well. But Matt, dude, we really appreciate you being on here, man. Thank you so much. And dude, it was great seeing you, bro. It's been a few years, and dude, I've always been a fan. And I know Dan Martin's on here, and I know he's watching. I really kind of hope that fourth Hanson brother really just like sticks. I mean, dude, I used to love it. And the best part was nobody understood what I was talking about. And maybe a few people would get it, and it was like our own private little like inside joke, But I totally forgot that I used to call you that. And he puts on the foil before every race. I mean, and everybody was like, "We don't understand that." And I'm like, it's between me and Matt. But
I distinctly remember because I knew no one at the racetrack. And you said that, and I was like, well, this guy's all right.
He's going to be a degenerate just like the rest of us.
That's exactly correct. Yeah. By the way, I just want to say thank you to Dan. I watched the show last week. His excitement, he was more excited about our win than I think I was. That's really awesome. And I can tell you, I've been going to races forever as a fan. You guys talked about how being an announcer is being a race fan.
One of the coolest races I ever got to call, man, was when Mike Gonzalez led the entire way, and he thought he had it licked. Dude, he came off of turn 4, literally 5 feet from the finish line. Matt got him by like this much. Matt came out of nowhere. Wow. And I remember calling that race, and I remember saying, keep an eye on the 12, keep an eye on the 12. And dude, that was such an awesome race to call. And dude, I could listen, I wasn't there, but I know the excitement that Dan had. And dude, that's what makes sometimes being an announcer really awesome, because if you're a race fan, dude, and you're into it, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember that Gonzalez race because that was our first win ever.
Yeah.
5 feet was the first 5 feet we ever led.
Yeah.
And I'm not trash talking Mike because we all like Mike, but he put his finger out the window with one to go, and he had that big red glove on. And I was in second going, is this son of a bitch really think he's going to do this?
Yeah.
And I tracked him down and passed him on 4.
And I told him, I said, dude, you gave that away. I said, man, you literally came off of 4 and I thought you had it. I was like, dude. And I've done that. Like I've had nights where I went like this, down the front stretch, and I thought I got it, and I look over, and there's Emerson, and I remember pulling my arm back in, going, shit, I think you just beat me, But yeah. So
yeah, that sucks.
All right, man. So Matt, that's gonna do it. We appreciate you so much for coming on, man. Thank you for joining us. Tell your mom I said hello. And
now we know her name.
Yeah, Pam.
All right. Let's stop talking about it. I can't afford any more haircuts.
Yeah, man. So
All right, guys. I really appreciate it. Awesome show, and hope to run into
Thank
both of you at the track at some point here.
All right.
Yeah,
man.
listen. The plan eventually is before I quit racing, man. We're gonna come to the Valley, and apparently that's what I need to do. So but Matt, thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon. Yeah.
Have a great night.
So
bye.
Don't take off just yet. We still got more to come.
They've been patiently waiting.
Yeah. We don't need to take a commercial break, but we do have 2 more guests getting ready to join us here, and they've both been on the show. And they're going to discuss. There's a big giant street stock race coming up at Bethel Motor Speedway. So let's bring them on because they've been patiently waiting out there in the green room. I know Rob Sedata piped in, and so one of them is, and I'm going to start this one here. So of course, the promoter from the Bethel Motor Speedway, Miss Dawn Roemer, she's on here. She is going to be my possible future wife at one point. I think that's what we've discussed. And then of course we've got Kyle, Billy Walker, Welsh.
Oh Lord!
Getting ready to come on. Let's
hope his internet. He paid the internet bill because last time he was.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he struggled with the internet.
Yeah.
I know he lives in the sticks and all, but we'll let it slide.
So.
And I think Dawn's mic is
all right. Yeah, is she muted?
Oh, there she goes.
Yeah. Listen, just because that baby looks like me is purely coincidental.
She has hair.
Yes.
But she did when she was born. So what's up? How's it going? Welcome back on. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry about the wait. But 3,000 to win. Kyle, it's your dad's memorial race. I've had a chance. I think I've run in one of them. I believe we went to Thunder Mountain last year when that went down. So what do we got going on?
Well, I kind of just figured it's always a pretty good turnout, but I kind of want to do something that really, it's something out of the box, Yeah. And I got thinking, I know Eastern States once or twice might have been 2,500. But I can't remember at Accord, Bethel, or Middletown where they've had a $3,000 to win race.
I can tell you, since I've been racing, that's never happened, ever. I think not even in the pro stocks.
Yeah,
it's I don't ever remember running for that kind of money.
Yeah. So it's your dad's memorial race. Okay.
Yep.
So how many laps is the race going to be? What are you paying to take the green, and what are the rules? I think the biggest thing is going to be, what are the rules?
The rules are pretty much going to be what they are week to week. That's not that I don't want to open up a can of worms with that. Right. That's just going to keep, stay what it is, because pretty much all 3 tracks are, everybody could compete with each other the way it is. But I kind of wanted to spread the money out after we get the purse. I want to divvy it out between all the way to if there's 20 cars, I want to divvy it out between all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to give a ridiculous amount to the front 3 and then the back markers get nothing. I try and spread it out like I've done in the past. I think.
Right. Yep.
I think 7th, 9th, 11th place cars in the past couple of years were getting. Sometimes they got a couple $100. Between lap money and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to get a bunch of, because I know Orange County's not running that day.
Yeah.
So just hopefully a ton of cars come.
And then the biggest thing for Accord, the guys would probably just have to change gear. I mean, you're pretty much. I mean, you're very close to setup wise. We both know you got to change a little bit. But with everybody being on DOT tires. I even think that the carburetors that they run in Middletown will be okay with the carbs that they run at Bethel and Accord.
We're running 500s now on our stuff too, and I don't honestly notice much of a difference. Maybe me
either. Yeah,
maybe it might lunge a little bit from the flag stand on, but as far as it's really I could do just as well with a small one.
Yeah.
Especially on a small track, I think a big track, obviously.
Yeah. Dawn, what are you guys? So how is the payout going to work? I mean, obviously, we all know that this division, a lot of us, we don't race for the money. It's not about the money, but is it like Kyle's coming up with like sponsorship and then the track is putting in, or is it going to be like, how is that working?
So Kyle comes at me with this crazy idea, and we all know I'm going to run with it.
Yeah.
There's already quite a few sponsors coming on, and then it was already set to be $1,000 to win race.
Okay.
So, the track will come up with that part of the money, and then we will, the sponsors will come with the rest. And as Kyle said, what's left, will go right to the.
So are you saying right now, as of right now, you're going to guarantee that it is 3,000 to win?
100%.
Absolutely. It will be 3,000 to win.
I'm in.
No matter the car count?
We're pretty much already at our mark, 3,000 to win.
Okay.
So now what comes after that is going to, contingency money for everybody else and take the green.
So no matter the car count?
Yeah.
There's not going to be any of that. Oh, only not 20 cars showed up. So no, it's 3,000 to win.
Yep.
Right. That's what.
I
think that's important. I think that's important.
So I'll tell you right now, and I said it before. I'll throw $100 in for hard charger. So you can put us down for that. I believe Rick Ryder just piped in. He said he's got $100. If you'd like, I mean, Dawn, what we did last year for the Sullivan 100, I thought was absolutely awesome. I have no issue trying to make this one of the biggest, paying street stock races ever. I don't even think in the history of Bethel Motor Speedway I don't even think a pro stock race has paid that much.
No,
probably not.
So it's a week off from Orange County Fair Speedway, right? So we're not going to coincide with them.
Right.
So it will be so me and George talked about it, and we're like, NASCAR plays it's usually a NASCAR race. So it will be a non-NASCAR point race and a non-Bethel point race.
So you read my mind, because that was going to be my next question. Is it a points night for us?
No.
You know what I mean? Because you are going to run it differently if it is.
No, I had an idea. I actually didn't even say anything to Dawn about this yet. Just on your opinion. What if we did, because I don't want to make it a wasted night for the regulars as far as, the regular season goes. What if they decided to make it just give the regulars show up points for the night. That way, the regulars that are in the points race don't not show up just because they don't have to. You know what I mean? Because I kind of want to get as many cars as possible for this whole thing. So
show up points is a good idea.
Rob Sedata said cheating is strongly encouraged.
Well, I got that covered. If I'm allowed to race, all right.
Well, that's the thing. If you race, you keep people away.
So now.
So listen, we were discussing this, right? Because this was coming. This question was coming.
This might be a little touchy subject, but in all seriousness, I'd like to know from everybody who would like to come or wants to come, would they really consider not coming because I'm in the race? I'd like to know.
I'm still coming.
And not that I dislike anybody or anything like that. As far as I know in the past, people wouldn't have came to Bethel because, we're not going to beat Kyle or JB or Walt or this one or that one. And if that's the case, I won't race it because I'm trying to make this, a big event. And if it's really that big of an issue, but my 357 car that I usually race is no longer a street stock. So if I do,
it's a modified.
Not quite. It's still got fenders. So
bring it out next week. I'll take care of that.
Yeah. So no, I was curious to find out about that.
So if you race that other car that you won with, I mean, they'll race.
Right.
I mean, Joel nearly caught you, so that's saying something. That car ain't.
It's really not. It's really not.
Actually,
Listen, don't give me that much credit, man.
So before we continue, I have something for you that I think you've been looking for from a couple weeks ago.
You son of a bitch.
I just I don't know if you can. I
swear to God, I thought your son is behind you, and I thought you were going to pull him around, and I was going to go, no, listen, that's not mine. That's not mine.
You gonna say hi? You can say hi. There's
What's up, homie?
There's like 5,000 people watching you, but you can say hi.
Listen, me personally, I never cared who was in the field. Either way, I'm going to race. You know what I mean? And it's always been, is it annoying that you guys did as well as you did? Yeah, absolutely it is. Did I lose interest and got tired of running for third? Absolutely I did.
Right.
But what did I do this winter? I went and we did our homework and we made the car better, and we're making the car better.
Right.
And that's, you know what I mean? So I don't, listen, bring Kevin Skelly back, bring the Van Ordens back, bring Mike Vigoletti. I want Bob Slate. I want Jay Smalley. I want the best. I want Ray Tarantino. I want the best of the best to be there. How can you say that you're the best?
There's no reason. If Kyle, if Bethel and Kyle are putting up $3,000, there's absolutely zero reason why anybody should miss that race, whether Kyle
100%.
races or not. I mean, this is most money. I mean, street stocks are talking about going away, and you're putting up $3,000 to win, and then you're talking about spreading it out. It's
I can tell you, if I and I mean this, if I was running Orange County and just Orange County, and Bethel was paying this kind of money to go up there, I would show up. I would come. Absolutely. I wouldn't care who was there. And I've done that. Brett Deo had his show.
And you know what? As shitty as I was at Bethel, I would go there just to support what Kyle is doing and what Bethel is doing. You know what I mean? Out of respect. I mean, that's just the way it is.
So here's the same topic, right? So Frank Cozy puts on a 10,000 to win race down at Bridgeport, and everybody throws a fit because Jimmy Blewett winds up winning it. Well, Jimmy Bluett's he's a modified guy. If I were to go down there and I were to beat him, dude, that's even more bragging rights for myself.
Right.
And that was the whole point behind the Shootout series, was to bring the three tracks together, to bring the best of the best together, and to see who, you know what I mean, who reigns supreme. And it wasn't, we never ever had the same champion. It was always somebody different. You know what I mean? I don't have an issue with it. I hope Walt Henry shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I figure and anybody you could think of should probably show up realistically. I mean, but no, I would like to be a part of it, but I also, like I said, I don't want to jeopardize the event because if Kyle's racing, we can't win, because I've heard it way too many times. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, that's only if you bring that other car. If you bring the one you had,
if you bring the other one, everybody's got a fair shot. We're putting that out there right now. I mean, Joel was on your bumper, so and that car's
I only use one barrel of the carburetor though.
Listen, I don't give a shit. I still had a shot.
Yeah, that's right. He was there. 2 more laps, he was taking you out. I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, you're probably No, you're right. He was. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he was.
Dawn, what would you need? What could we do to help promote the race more, or what is it that you guys, what would help out to help promote that?
Just keep spreading the word.
Yeah.
Guaranteed $3,000 to win. No, based on this car count, based on that car count, it's guaranteed $3,000 to win.
That's big.
And if I know a lot of drivers, we've been a racer, we want to set up. We happen to have, we do have a Thursday practice at the end of May too, so they can come, and dial their car in and get to know the track a little bit.
And if anybody doesn't have a clue what they're doing for Bethel, just call me. I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah, and listen, I know what Kyle knows, and there's been a lot of guys from the Unruly series from Nate Stevens. That's a shameless plug. Where is it? Right there. And those guys are coming. I believe on the 21st. There's a race for that, and a lot of the guys have reached out to me, and I told them exactly what it is that I'm running. I mean, you know what I mean? We're getting around there, kind of decently, and then, just let them go for that Thursday practice, the 16th before the race too. So even George piped in with that. Listen, I think it's absolutely awesome what it is that you guys are doing, and like I've been saying it for a couple of seasons now. When you go to Bethel Motor Speedway, man, there are nights you never ever get out of the car, and the respect that you get from you guys has been absolutely awesome, and listen, I appreciate it, and we can't thank you guys enough for that.
I try my hardest.
Yeah. So, okay. So 3,000 to win. And when is the race?
June 18th.
Yeah.
Say it again.
June 18th.
June 18th. June 18th, Bethel Motor Speedway. Keep an eye on our webpage, Gary. I'm sure we'll try and promote the hell out of it too.
Are you making flyer or no?
The flyer, I should have it by midnight tonight.
Okay. So if you want, share it to either Gary or myself. We'll start spreading the word. We'll get it on. I'm sure if we spread it over to Jay Smalley for the Street Stock Help Source. Dude, I think that this could be huge. I really do. I think that this could be huge. There's nothing better. There's no more. The fun that you have when there's over 20 cars on that racetrack is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because just when you think, man, I got time and I can make moves, the race is over and you realize you just finished 12th because you were battling with them guys for, you know what I mean? It's really cool. And it can happen. It can happen. You can have a hell of a race there. So.
Yeah, well, the shootout race, I don't know, 2016.
Yeah.
There was what? Had to be 18
24
cars. Yeah,
I think it was 24 cars.
It was 24 for you.
Yeah.
And we went green to checkered, and cars were passing cars the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's gonna just because there's a lot of cars, it won't be a wreck fest.
It really won't. You know what I mean?
No.
I think that races like this, you get the best of the best out there, and everybody kind of respects their own stuff. Again, me personally, I'll put it right out there, Kyle. I don't give a shit, man. Bring whatever you want to bring, and you know what I mean, and let's race. Everybody's got to whine and cry about this and that, and the other thing, and it is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Build a better mousetrap. So, anything else you guys want to? What do we got going on this weekend, Bethel Motor Speedway, Dawn?
Armed Forces night.
Armed Forces night, Bethel Motor Speedway. Who's all? What divisions we got running?
You have everything except for pro stocks and dirt mods.
Okay. No pro stocks, no dirt mods, and I hear that I missed a hell of a pro stock race last week. That sucks. Big congrats to Brandon Decker. I can't believe I missed that. That sucks.
I even got a picture. I got a victory lane picture because I wasn't getting one in the modified. That's for sure. I thought I was pretty good till I watched Ed Dockenhausen pretty much lap me.
Listen, there's nothing better than watching you drive that modified because boy, do they stomp your ass.
Yeah, they
I think
it's really
awesome.
bad.
I think it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I thought I was pretty cool till I drove that thing.
Yeah, listen, I wasn't kidding. You need to get the hell out of my parking spot.
Yeah, no.
That was me. Like Eddie was so far ahead there for a while. I was just following Kyle's ass around so everybody could see how bad he sucked.
No, don't worry. I got a call tonight. My motor's it's going on the run stand tomorrow, so that's pretty good. I should be able to at least
not get laps.
I might finish fourth. Yeah, I might get fourth next time.
Listen, I can picture Dawn even in turn 4 with the move over flag, just pointing and waving like this.
Yeah,
dude, that shit sucks.
No, it's totally it's very humbling. Like now, I know how you feel every weekend.
You talking to Dawn?
No, I'm talking to you. I'm definitely talking to you.
Holy shit.
It sucks. Dude, I can remember finishing second Eastern States, right? Went to Bethel the next day, and I was a lap car. They're pointing the lap flag at me, and I'm going, are you serious? Dude, we're 3 laps into this.
Well, I tried to give you a signal out the window that we were under green, but you didn't get the hint.
Oh no! It's as fast as it goes.
Oh, all right.
It's only faster. Listen, Tony Garaguzzo built the motor. What do you want?
Oh Jesus!
Well, I used one of his once. It was really, really good till it exploded.
Still about lap 20.
Yeah, I won with it, and then I blew it up. I don't know.
You know what I tell him now? Tony, you're not the mechanic we thought you were.
Oh, that ain't right.
It's not. That poor guy, man.
No,
listen,
you ruined his whole life just now.
I did. You should have my life. Listen, I love that dude to death. Listen, we've made some serious changes this week, and one of them was now I think I'm eye level with the door bar. People are gonna think it's you driving my car. I'm so low in the freaking car now.
I can't get any lower.
Well, yeah, because you're kind of a heavy kid, and if you get stuck in that seat, it's going to be hard for you to get out.
I know.
I'm not pulling your big ass out of there. So.
And I already can't see. I drive by Braille. I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, we know. My rear bumper's got to fucking prove all this.
Oh, jeez.
I seen that Bud said he wants to pace the field, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, by the 18th, I have the Dale Earnhardt number 3 truck up here to pace the field as the pace car for that street style.
Now, who owns that?
Jeff.
Okay. And it's roadworthy truck, or it's a Gander Mountain NASCAR truck.
NASCAR.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
You're gonna let Bud drive that?
No, I'm gonna drive. Bud can, ride bitch with me.
I guess it's probably the same, right? Her, Bud driving, right? It's the
same. Gary, man, those first couple of weeks of you doing videos was awesome, man. It's good to see
you. Oh, Joel, and I also wore this shirt. This is the shirt that I won at Accord the night I got disqualified.
Yeah.
I had to give him the plaque, but I kept the shirt because it counts as like half a win, right? If I keep the shirt.
Listen, we're not discussing. There was a night in Orange County when I looked at Michelle and told her, "Listen, take the plaque, go to the truck, and don't come back."
I still have that. Yeah. It's hanging on my wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and this I knew what was coming.
I think we did that one night in Orange County.
Yeah.
Run, Dawn. All right.
Yeah. Listen, take this to the truck. Don't say a word. Just go.
Just go.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I think they left already. I don't know. I remember. I probably should just be quiet about it, but I remember yelling to somebody, one Eastern States, to their mother. I remember yelling, "Hey, don't go too far with that check." I'm not going to mention names.
I get it.
They got extremely mad. I wasn't wrong, though.
Yep.
I played the fifth.
Yeah.
I'm new to this game.
Yeah, not saying nothing. So. All right, folks. Thank you so much. We are going to do what we can. I mean, 3,000 to win is absolutely awesome, and I'm sure that it's going to, the rest of the field it'll grow. And I really hope we get some Orange County and Accord guys, and hell, man, bring the Valley down. Bring them all. I think it's going to be great.
Does Orange County's country club, does their country club certificate transfer? Are they allowed to leave the country club?
That's on them. I don't know.
Listen, bring some tea. Just come. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and another thing, if they do want to come, if anybody wants to come to the practice the Thursday before, I'm more than happy to go out there and give anybody a hand if they want to get their stuff going in the race.
So all kidding aside, Kyle, we've reached out to you quite a bit, man. And even the last night we raced, you came over, made a suggestion. We did that, and you know what I mean. The car got better between yourself and Brian and Eddie Butler. We're really. I feel like we're heading in the right direction. So it's not. We don't keep secrets up there. We really, we try to help each other out as much as possible. And it's just, so I'd love to see this race be, 25, 30 cars. I'd love to see some guys go home because they didn't qualify. You know what I mean? I know that sounds really rude and stupid, but I mean that, and if I'm one of them, that's cool. I'm good with that.
If we get enough of them,
What's that?
I said we'll run a B main if we get enough of them.
I haven't seen a B main in the street stock division at Bethel Motor Speedway since probably 1995.
How about this, Dawn? All right, so if we get enough cars to where we need to do something like that, we'll do a non-qualifiers too. If it comes to the point where we need to cut cars, we'll do a non-qualifiers feature too.
100%.
Yeah.
And Brian might be coming out of retirement for this race. God help.
All right, so everybody should come to watch me and Brian because it's got to be worth the price of admission.
I'll put you, Brian, and Walter together again.
Listen, just call press.
So I think that
more records.
I was going to say I think we should call the New York betting agency, and we'll start putting money on what lap we're having a red.
Yep.
And hope and pray we're gonna the big one at Bethel.
Yeah.
As long as we make it through the big one at Bethel, man, we're good.
I'm not bragging or anything, Joel, but I drove away from all those red flags. I don't know.
I got no comment.
Away, but you hauled ass out off the track too.
Oh God.
Because Big Mama was coming for you.
I was a little scared.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna end this shit before it gets really bad.
It's gonna be cracked phone screens if you don't cut it off.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Listen. Oh my Atlanta. All right, folks. Thank you, and we will talk soon. I think the closer we get to the race, I think we should have you back on, and then kind of let us know where we're at as far as if there's lap sponsors or if the the person's increased any of that other stuff, man. We'd love to have you back on. But thank you for being patient and all that stuff. And dude,
Thanks
we'll
for
talk soon.
We'll have more information as it goes.
Yes.
Right now, the whole thing just started a couple days ago, so we'll be a little more organized and stuff.
Listen, and you spread the word, man, and listen, if you're out there and you're watching and you want to be a part of this, what I did was I made a list of everybody that sponsored, and I gave it to the announcers, and so the announcers even said your name, and listen, $20 goes a long way for us. So please feel free. Let's make this one of the biggest races that Bethel's ever had as far as street stocks go. That's awesome.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. So, but yeah, man. So I think really productive night. Not too bad.
That's good, man.
So we will be back next week. I will plug the hell out of them. Thank you very much. Great show. See you next week. Thanks, Tara. Appreciate it. Dude, you scared the hell, Tara. I was running with one of the clubs, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hi, Joel," and I was like, oh my God. And I looked over, and we were running past Tara's house, Tara Waters, and all them. So,
shit.
Dude, it scared the hell out of me. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, what? Yep.
Yeah. So again, folks, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you. You guys have really made this this little podcast that we have. It's really turning into something kind of big here, and dude, it's awesome.
Taking off. Like you said earlier, you got people from literally all the way out as far as the state of Washington that it's going to be coming on.
Yeah, I know the dog is much scarier. I've met your dog. But all right, folks, that's going to do it for us, man. Get out there and support your local racetrack.
Accord
Speedway, yes. Battle of the Bull Ring, right?
Yes, Short Track Super Series tomorrow night.
Yeah, man, that is always and it looks like the weather is going to be pretty decent for that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
So, Gary, you'll be there. Unfortunately, by the time I get out of work, it'll be too late. So
yeah, I'll be there. We're sponsoring the
the heat races.
So all the heat race winners.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
Helps get the name out there a little more.
Yeah, man. And then Orange County Fair Speedway rained out last week. Bethel actually got theirs in. I don't know who the winners were. Was Brandon Decker? Big congrats to him. First 1,000
times too. He won the dirt mod and the BMS mod.
And then who is Hot Sauce? Who's the little kid there?
That's John Brush's son.
Okay, they called him Hot Sauce.
Hot Sauce. Awesome. Yep, Hot Sauce. He had a cheated up Power Wheels.
That's awesome.
He skipped tech.
Hell yeah. Kyle Welsh working on that?
Yeah. He helped him out,
But,
Paul Henry was involved, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Get out and support your local racetrack if you're on social media and you're bashing the place, man. You're part of the problem. We will Jasper Brush is Hot Sauce. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
tune
we'll
in
see you folks next week, man. Absolutely.
Good show.